we are taking off out of here. It's technically our 4th day, 3rd night, and I could stay here for another couple weeks, but there's national parks to hit up, and we're gonna go see some family and schedules and such. So, whew, let's hit the road. Yeah, this finally slept in today. That's how peaceful it is here. Not a soul around, and no sounds, just the sound of the wind. But now that the wind is picking up, I think it's time to go. So I do the outside stuff, Emma's finishing up the inside stuff. It's a good separation of duties. Holy cow, it is windy here, and I'm afraid the camera's gonna blow over, but, well, it would. We're at the Guadalupe Mountains National Park, and yeah, very windy.
Yeah.
A little bit of wind chill here. It is beautiful out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of, this is sort of what I pictured Rocky Mountains would look like, but, okay, first, you would think we'd be disappointed that there is no video here. But we have gotten a lot of information from a really nice ranger. Didn't get her name. But long story short, we're part of the Guadalupe Mountains in the Chihuahua Desert, which is super interesting. And apparently there's only 3 fingers that come up from Mexico. A lot of it, most of it is in Mexico.
It is the 2nd windiest place in the world.
Which, it's windy out there. Apparently this is nothing. Like 55 is like, she's like, yeah, I kind of don't go out hiking after 55. Yeah. I'm like, I try not to after 5, so it kind of makes me feel like a wiener, which, speaking of, apparently you cannot be a wiener and live here in this desert. Apparently we're not far from New Mexico, Carlsbad.
No, we're not.
There's some very interesting features of this park.
Yeah.
We should actually, let me show you around here. So apparently this is also a big rainforest type area. So you can actually see, this is a desert, but also a rain, I mean, it's very, very, very diverse. You'll actually see tropical trees. There are skunks here, and apparently the skunks are very funny little creatures, and they, much like raccoons, and there are raccoons as well, they will go and mess with campers to try to get their food, which I think is 1, adorable, 2, hilarious, and 3, apparently they haven't had any spraying incidents, nor rabies. Rabies is very, very rare to see, which I think is awesome. They have so many funny little creatures. There's a moth larvae, but they have so many funny little creatures out here, some of which are very scary. You got junipers, the tree climbing gray fox. Very adorable. Actually, a lot of the creatures they have here are adorable. There's a few more. You got turkeys out here, which I think is interesting. And these apparently are some of the most mischievous little guys.
They're cousins to raccoons. They're called a ringtail.
A ringtail. And without practicing, it's a astutus. Astutus. Asti for short. And these guys are so, I just think they're so cute. It would be very interesting to run into one of them, but apparently they try to avoid people. Of course, you got hawks and snakes and rattlesnakes.
There's lots of owls here. They're one of the Mexican owls that's very endangered.
They even have I think that's a great horned owl there. Little weasels and things. And these guys are kind of funny. And you can actually see some of the skin of one of the shred. They have frogs out here.
I don't know about these trees.
Yeah, they're tropical.
Yeah. Which
is so interesting. There's some fantastic information. Honestly, I think I've already forgotten almost all of it. Like, she was a wealth of knowledge. They have tons of cacti out here, but no saguaros. And there's a coyote here.
They used to have a lot of prairie dogs. They don't have very many anymore, but the...
Oh, yes. And that is, what is that guy? A badger, right?
Yeah, an American badger. And the American badgers and the coyotes hunt together.
You see those colors there?
And so the badgers will flush the critters out of the ground, and then the coyotes will chase them, and then they'll eat together.
Right. And so they will also go after bigger prey and the smaller prey. But apparently the European badger is black and white. Ours are more interest. Yeah, the brown, which I noticed a lot of the coats out here, a lot of brown. And then a black-tailed jackrabbit, of course. And okay, so lots and lots and lots of birds. But these guys kind of look like kookaburras.
These are called a loggerhead shrike, and what they do is they're songbirds, so they sing, but then also they'll go and they'll catch bugs, and then they'll skewer them on barbed wire or cactus thorns.
Isn't that horrifying?
And then go back and eat them, rip their heads off, skewer them, and then go back and eat them later.
So they conserve their energy, and then when they're ready to relax, off we go.
So you know when you're in shrike territory because you'll see bugs on cactuses and barbed wire all over the place.
And then this one is super gross and fascinating. Apparently these are the colors are not showing up here, but they have beautiful blue kind of shiny bodies, and then these lovely orange. I think these are just kind of lost their luster. These are disgusting.
They're called tarantula hawks.
Tarantula hawks. And so apparently they will leave, they'll attack the tarantula, paralyze it with some venom, and then lay their eggs in there, and then it takes the tarantula a few days to die. The larvae will hatch. I'm just like picturing that. That's the worst thing. And apparently they will bite people too. So just get medical attention and just, yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's one of the top 5 ouchiest bites you can get by an animal that won't kill you.
I thought she said that it was the second worst.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, gross.
Top 5 at least.
And then this is a roadrunner, which, yeah, the roadrunner, I don't think we've actually ever seen one. I'm hoping to see one out there in the wild. I guess they don't fly very far at all.
But they eat rattlesnakes.
Yeah, isn't that funny? They will just apparently they get really good. They'll set up the cactus around a hole. And so the rattlesnake will want to go in there, get kind of stunned because of the prickles, and then this guy comes in. It's like a whole thing. Now, the reason it's a park is actually, it used to be part of the ocean. There's a map on the other side, but there's tons of fossils in here.
Yeah.
And they're apparently not very easy to spot. You can see some of, if you know what you're looking for, apparently it's not that bad. Some are easier than others. And then you can actually, here's one of the shells.
But this is like the best place in the world to come and study fossils and things like that.
Yeah, which is fascinating. Apparently, though, this is one of the most diverse parks, or she said the most diverse. One of the most.
I think it's the most diverse, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But so the visitor center is right here. So this all used to be ocean. This all used to be underground, and we're right here.
Yeah, actually, you can see. So here's Carlsbad up here. The park's right in there, and so all that water had receded. And actually, this is a really exciting one. I was like, where the heck did all that water go? Because it didn't just evaporate. That doesn't happen. The water has to go somewhere. And there's actually a geologist here who was like, yeah, it all went to the ice caps.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating. And stores and releases. This is a thing that has happened for many, many moons. And there's so much just interesting. If you know what you're looking at, you can see, and you can see layers in this. This is so. Where we had stayed the last couple nights, that salt basin, is where all the salt water had evaporated into.
Yeah.
But, okay, here's another thing. So this is an image of that area. So every 10 years or so, it gets water. It will actually refill, and the water will hang out for a few months. Apparently the locals will go out there, go paddling and whatnot. It's such a fascinating thing. But you can see they get snow here, and then there's greenery.
This is not a drivable park, it's a hiking park.
Yeah.
So you can kind of get to parking lots and then you hike in from there. So we're actually going to go do a hike where there's supposed to be lots of fossils.
Yep, 5 miles there, round trip. They do have some four-wheel drive roads. We're at the visitor center here, and we're going to go over to, there's another visitor center right here. Actually, that is in New Mexico, so we'll be going to a new state. But yeah, that's the salt basin. I believe, right? That's where we had to go all the way around.
The bridge we were sleeping on the last couple of nights, you can see in the background, was actually the coral reef, which is pretty cool. Coral
reef, it's a whole thing. So it's not just a regular mountain or whatever, which is part of why it's a national park here. So there's so much to know, and this is very unassuming. Yeah. It's Texas, right? To me, I don't expect this. Yeah. Super diverse state, right? And naturally, it's I think it's the second biggest state we have, right?
Yeah.
Next to Alaska. One of the coolest things, they have bats here.
They do. And this is the only national park that's named after a geological period of time.
Yeah, the Guadalupe period. Super cool. So here's an example of it's a madrona, Texas madrona. It's a tropical plant. You can see some of that beautiful red. This isn't even as saturated as they can be. This one looks a little more dried. These mountains are beautiful. Whew. It is windy still. I think it'll be all right. This hike we're supposed to do is...
Supposed to be in a valley.
We'll see if that helps with any of the wind. Probably not, let's be real. All right, this is the McKittrick Canyon Trailhead, and we're going to the Pratt cabin, and then we'll turn around.
Yep.
So there should be a lot to see out here. But a couple of other interesting notes. So apparently, as we know, the wind can be insane out here, but we're talking like 120-mile-an-hour gusts. The ranger was telling us that apparently some of the RVs that are in the campground, and I guess the campground looks like it was closed here, we've driven through it. It's not uncommon for the RVs to like skip at like 55 mile an hour, like right into the side, right? Yeah. And your RV will just start skipping. And there are tie downs apparently, like that's a, like, whoa. But 120 miles, she's like, yeah, sometimes you come out and like all the RVs are flipped. She goes, it's rare, but it happens.
She goes, sometimes the wind is so strong, like it looks like brown in front of your face when you're walking because it's so dusty. And then the RVs are all flipped over.
Yeah, and I was like, what do you do? And she goes, I just don't hike. She goes, I had a coworker that like would just put on goggles and go, all right, I'm out here. Like, that is nuts. There's also elk out here, and apparently the material, the reef material out here is actually older than coral reef, which I didn't know anything about that to begin with, and I still don't know hardly anything about. To be before even the dinosaurs is just what? Like, that's so cool. So.
Well, and they say like road runners are very closely related to the dinosaur still, like the pterodactyl.
She's like, yeah, that kind of reminds you of like the pterodactyl, like the way that would work, kind of like in Jurassic Park. So that's really funny, but let's hit the trail. The terrain is supposed to be rather flat and we're going in between a canyon, so we'll see how this goes. You really don't expect it to be so green out here. That, a nice riverbed that I imagine would be just wonderful come spring, and in fall I bet you this whole valley lights up. Just look how green it is. I may have mistakenly called these madrona trees, but they're madrone trees. Emma is on the lookout for these centipedes that apparently will chase you, and they have a terrible bite. I mean, they are just vicious little things.
When I was telling you about those tarantula whatevers that would top 5 most painful bites without killing you, those are number 1.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
So I'm not interested in interacting with those guys.
It is insane to think about the fact that all of this was all underwater at some point.
Like, we would be deep underwater right now. Like, if you look at how tall that ridge is, this is deep underwater.
Way up there. Yeah. Isn't that crazy to think about? And apparently, full-grown men have been like big boys and just picked up and moved by the wind, which I fully believe. The ranger, again, I wish I would have gotten her name. She's so nice. She couldn't have been more like 100 pounds.
Yeah, she was little.
And I'm like, yeah, you do it out here.
Maybe 5 feet tall, yeah.
She said, you know, and she's one of those people that could go basically anywhere, clearly.
Yeah.
She's very, very knowledgeable, great personality. And, oh, is that I think that's the agave plant. That sort of just looks like aloe, doesn't it? She said this is her favorite place in the world. This is so cool. I get it now. Oh, look, it's kind of repopulating. Which, speaking of repopulating, that sort of looks like aloe.
It's not soft like aloe. This must be agave. Or some type of agave.
Interesting.
Because you know how aloe is squishy?
Yeah, a little bit like juicier.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a lizard out here. Because we were asking about lizards, and there are a few, apparently. There are no geckos or
typical
monkey.
Lizards. Bearded dragons.
Bearded dragons.
I love lizards.
But there's one that apparently they're all female. Now this is a very interesting thing. They're all female, but they don't know how they repopulate. It doesn't, I guess she said it doesn't quite make sense. Because they're all female, and instead of like when we repopulate, you mix genes, right? Mm-hmm. They're all clones of one another.
Yeah, so they lay unfertilized eggs, and they don't know how they like grow necessarily. But yeah, they're all like direct clones, and they're all female.
Yeah, it's got to be something where like there's some chemical process that they can go through that, like, okay, another one, see, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
That's so fascinating. But yeah, the amount of like weird things, apparently this is like a geologist's dream to be out here, probably as well as paleontologists.
This is the best place to examine prehistoric marine life as it's been preserved.
Yeah.
Ever in the world.
It's incredible. I wouldn't have expected this out of Texas, you know, and we were just saying Texas is kind of boring for us.
Well, and we were like, we walked into the national park and we're like, why this park? Like, why is this a national park? And like, when she started explaining it, I was like, whoa, I had no idea.
Didn't expect it. I honestly, I want to see a skunk. This is the Pratt Lodge / Pratt Cabin, and it didn't always belong to the National Park Service.
No, in 1930, Wallace Pratt came out here and decided he loved it out here. He wanted to own it and it was gonna be his. And so in 1932, he bought it. He bought the whole valley and then he lived out here, built this cabin out of limestone. The walls, ceiling, and floors are all limestone. And then in 1961, he gave it back to the American people of the National Park Service, which is really awesome.
That is not only very generous, but this is quite the feat. I mean, the wood done here is clearly, it appears original.
Yeah.
And this is one of the most beautiful places. I gotta say, of all the hikes we've done recently, this might be my favorite.
This is actually pine wood from East Texas he brought in.
But he even used the limestone on the roof. This this whole roofing, which would be the weakest part of any house, right, is gonna be your roof. It's incredible. It's
all stone.
You know, I gotta say, sometimes limestone can sort of look like giraffe scale, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
This does not.
No, it doesn't. And
Art.
And he brought the limestone in specifically from outside of the mountain valley because of the way that the limestone was shaped. And so it made nice sized pieces to stack.
He faced this house about south, it looks like, and I can absolutely appreciate why. I mean, look how lush this is. I mean, it's sort of tropical, sort of incredible, right? It is difficult to see much inside, but you can see it. The original glass is still here. It is beautiful. Painted green. I don't know if that was original or if that was the Park Service. They even give you a nice place to rest your feet. Although I gotta say, it's not a terribly difficult hike in, thankfully. I mean, there's not a lot of terrain to climb. You know, you're not ascending much. Teaching about butterflies and such in there. It's beautiful. I appreciate that the man knew how precious this land is to, you know, all of us. The gentleman only used it from 1931 to 1961, so 30 years of use. Yeah, that wood looks still quite new. A few spots that maybe have seen some wear. Interesting building style. We have been hiking for quite some time now, another extra mile.
Yeah, we're at 3.5 miles exactly out here.
And this is apparently a grotto. A grotto. Who would have named this a grotto. Isn't that funny?
These are their stalagmites or stalactites. I don't really know the difference.
It's kind of creepy and it's cave, but also creepy, like it wants to eat you.
Yeah.
But I think it's like minerals that just kind of drip and build up.
Yeah, I think that there's some moisture back here.
Yeah.
So I bet the water pools back there when it rains.
And you can kind of see that actually. Oh, I hear dripping. Yeah, I bet you anything, water sort of makes its way through little cracks and crevices. But it is very moist in here. It smells a little dank. Doesn't it?
A little bit, a little musty.
And if we continue on this way, another beautiful field, make it to a hunting cabin that we have been told is very much worth it.
We were originally just going to hike to the Pratt cabin, which is about a mile back. But then we ran into a lady on the trail who said, you got to keep going. There's the grotto, hit the grotto. And then once you go to the grotto, keep going. There's another cabin. You got to see it. It's worth seeing.
Well, it's funny because I didn't think to ask what a grotto was, but she goes, you'll know it when you're there. And we were like, okay. And I figured like a pool of water. Nope, grotto.
But we did know it when we were there.
But this is like, there's two people that are like, you have to see this, which the train is not like the easiest thing ever, but it's by far like not even intermittent, like intermediate. And I really appreciate people giving their advice.
Yeah, it's really been cool to keep going.
It's been great. It is so strange though, that it feels like fall out here.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. Oh, whoa.
Found it.
Very short hike from the grotto. This is interesting. This was some work because you know they didn't have like cranes and stuff to pick all this up, and then no, probably very few power tools and such. Look at the size of that pancake cactus. Holy cow. Man, proof life will find a way.
This is only 0.08 miles from the grotto.
Yeah, that feels about right. Can we go in? This is a really cool cabin and another beautiful. See, there are elk out here. And the way that the elk survive, because there's minimal water, right, is they migrate. They stay up high in elevation. And the plants are, they tend to get enough water from just the plants alone, which is fascinating.
Hunter Ranch, Line Cabin, 1924.
You know, even a little bit of snow or heat, I could see why people would love it here.
Hiking out here at 115 degrees might be a little much, but not too terrain rough.
Yeah, I gotta say, if there's anywhere I'm gonna hike 115, I prefer to go horseback, but this would be it. I mean, and then you know that the stones would keep you nice and cool.
Yeah.
Got a nice shade and the trees are doing their work.
Yeah, this is actually as far as we can hike. Everything else beyond this is closed as a research area. Yeah. So it shows more trail, but I don't think you can actually keep going.
It's beautiful out here.
Yeah.
This is definitely my favorite hike I think we've ever done.
Yeah, this is a great hike. And it feels like Jurassic. Like it feels like a dinosaur is about to walk out in front of you.
Right, right. Not only because you're kind of in that canyon, you got these beautiful mountains, which are reefs. They're freaking reefs.
Yeah.
But even without that context, like it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And this is a place that I would easily want to return to.
Yeah.
A fall.
I would
spring.
do this hike over and over again.
Yeah.
And we haven't even seen any of the fossils. Haven't really looked that hard for them.
There are backpacking trails out here too.
Yeah.
And you could spend one day hiking in, one day just searching for those fossils.
Yeah.
Fossil hunting. And I will say the only thing we haven't seen out here that would be sick is a skunk or two. Apparently, the skunks are some sassy sons of guns.
I don't know that I want to see a skunk. Maybe one of those nice ringtails, though.
No, I'd see a skunk. See, we've seen ringtail scat, and apparently they're really funny little guys, and they will poop wherever they don't want. Like that's how they mark their territory. They eat a lot of berries, and then you see it in their scat. And so even the ranger vehicles, the rangers will like, yeah, they poop on my car because they don't want people there. But skunks apparently are a little funnier out here. Where you can tent camp, apparently people have reported that the skunks have figured out how to get, like, they work zippers.
And cooler latches and stuff.
So not only will you get your coolers and this and that, but one lady apparently reported that one of the skunks opened her tent. She thought it was her husband, like messing with her. gets up next to her, starts like snuggling with her and whatever, and she freaked out.
Luckily, it sounds like the skunks don't spray people.
No,
they just want their food.
They just want food. Yeah, they're little critters.
Yeah.
Little critters. What a nice word for a skunk.
I will say, if Joel gets sprayed by a skunk because he goes playing with them, he will sleep outside.
I get it. I'd kick my ass out too. You know, that stuff's, that's in there, man. I think you got to sit there and like, you got to scrub down like borax and.
I'll let Colt sleep in the bed and you can sleep outside.
I get that. I respect that. This is home for the evening, and what a cool spot indeed. We got a vintage camper over here. I don't know what, it's kind of like a Scotty, but I can't say for sure. This is an impressive solar array. They have side deployable panels as well, which is, oh man. They come out of both sides. That is solar goals. Yeah, and they're pulling with a single, they're set up very well, very smart. And then over here we've got some motorcycle campers, and then these folks kind of set up in the middle. And then in front of us, we chose to kind of park along the edge here, and another fifth wheel out here. Plenty of room for everybody. And if you were wondering, yes, it is still very windy here.
Yeah, very windy.
But I believe the Carlsbad Caverns are like,
just over there.
They're not too far. So this is, that was a wonderful hike.
Yeah, that was 7.1 miles.
Yeah, that was, I'm feeling it in my back, in my knees, and my feet. But otherwise, like I would come back.
Yeah.
I did not expect that out of Texas.
No, not at all. And now I'm ready for dinner.
And we're in New Mexico. Thanks for watching, guys. I was about to blow over. Thanks for watching, guys. We will see you in the next video.
Bye, guys.
Bye.